Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making this extra large macaron, and I'm going to show you two different ways to make it. So thanks for clicking on this video. I'm so glad you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe. So let's start going over some things that we will need. Some air dry foam clay. I got some yellow bows, which I get off of Amazon. Some lightweight spackling DAP from Home Depot, and this Bose clay I also get off of Amazon. Some scissors, paintbrush, some hot glue, some tacky glue, toothpicks, and a spray bottle with water, and a Frisbee, which I got at Walmart or you could get at Dollar Tree. And then I cut a cardboard box and a circle, and I hot glued that to the back. Now I'm going to take some tacky glue and I'm just going to paint the sides and the top with some tacky glue on the Frisbee, so that way the clay will adhere to it. There I'm just cutting off the excess of the cardboard that's hanging out a little over. I'm just trimming that up a little bit. Then I'm going to lay it down on the air dry foam clay and lift up the edges to go around the back side. And you do want it to be on the back side a little bit, and air dry foam clay does shrink a little bit, so have it go over a little bit, but not a lot, but just a little bit, so that way there's some room for some shrinkage, but you don't want to have a gap there. So I'm just cutting off the excess, and check around your whole side of your Frisbee, and if you see the Frisbee on any spot or part of the cardboard, I'm taking some of the excess of clay in certain spots and cutting it and then pressing it in to hide the spot that was not covered with clay. And then I'm just going to pat and rub all around the Frisbee on the clay to try to smooth it out. Try not to touch with your fingers, because as you can see on there, I have fingerprints, which we will work out. But again, just try to not use your fingertips and use basically the palms of your hands. And I'm going to use the spray bottle to help spray it and get it wet so I could really smooth it out. And take the rolling pin, I'm trying to rub that on the top to try to get some of those dents and fingerprints out there. So this is a long process, and you just got to keep at it. Don't give up. Don't get frustrated and think, oh, it's never going to get smooth. It will, but it does take time. So be patient and just keep at it. Just keep rubbing, pressing with the palms and getting it wet and rubbing it around to try to smooth out all the rough edges. You will eventually get it. And also just check me out. I'm on Facebook at Love is Homemade, and also I have loveishomemade.shop.com. So if you don't want to make things and you want to purchase things, you could go check that out. Also check my Facebook page. I have other things that I have made on there that I have not done a video. So if you see something on there you'd like to see a video of, leave me a comment and let me know. I want to know, or if there's something that I haven't done yet that you're interested in and may want to see me do a video on, please leave me a comment and let me know. I would love to know what you'd like to see. And if it's possible, I'll make a video on it. I just would like to know your thoughts. So here again, just keep at it, guys. Pressing down around the sides, to the bottom, to the top. So you can see it starting to smooth out, and the top already looks smoother. And I have it propped up on my bucket of air dry foam clay, so that way I could get the bottom part of it where the bottom of the Frisbee is and the box meets, and around the bottom. And when it gets this wet, it gets pretty sticky, so it'll stick to your surface, so just be careful. And when I do this with the Frisbees, I also, after I put the clay on it, I do let it dry like this for 24 hours at least before doing the next step. Just because I find that as soon as you handle it and it's that moist, you'll get more fingerprints and marks on your clay. So I would just definitely wait for 24 hours. You can also use, if you don't want to use a Frisbee and you want to use styrofoam, you can do that. That can get more pricey. Or you can use styrofoam that you get from furniture that you purchase, and if it's thin, you can just glue two pieces together and then cover it in clay. So there are other ways other than a Frisbee that you could use. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea that maybe you haven't seen before. So here again, I'm going to roll out another worm. I have a dry Frisbee here that's already covered in clay, so I just need to do the next step. So I'm conditioning the clay and mixing it with white so it's not so bright yellow. And then I'm going to roll out the worm. And just be careful when you're rolling out the clay that your surface is clean, because if it's not, everything will stick to the clay and then you'll have a mess. Like I have a dog and a cat that shed some, and I'm constantly getting pet hairs in my clay, which is really frustrating. So yeah, everything just sticks to it. So press it around into the Frisbee all the way around, just gently press it in. And I was a little bit short, so I am just going to go ahead and roll out another little worm and cut it to fit in there. And there will be a little crease, but that's okay because the next step will fix that and you won't even tell. So I'm just pressing that in there, and now I'm going to take a toothpick and we're going to go the whole way around the Frisbee and just gently pull a little bit out, and just do that the whole way. So just start towards the top of the worm and pull it down slightly. And there it is. So now I am going to show you another one that I've already done. It's completely dry. So we're going to do the next step, and I'm going to take the white spackling mixed with white paint, and then a big round circular tip that I get at Hobby Lobby, or you could get it at any other craft store. And then I'm just going to pipe out some spackling to go around all the edges of the macaron. I'm going to do it the full way around, and then I'm going to do it again directly on top of the first layer. And then I'm going to take the top piece and just gently press down, not really firm, otherwise your spackling will spill out over the side, so just gently. And now I'm just going to take a wet paintbrush and try to fill in the cracks, because that one I did, it had my clay shrunk, and that's how I learned the first time to give you that tip, is that, and then it showed part of the box, so then I had to go around the whole macaron and roll a green snake worm to press in and then cover it. So there's just an extra gap there. So my fix with that is to just spread the spackling out over it so it looks like a thicker white cream center, but really it's not. It's just kind of being painted over the edges to where I had messed up the first time. So again, if you do the cardboard like I showed you in the beginning of the video, and you put the clay down over the cardboard far enough, you won't have this trouble and you won't have to worry about that at all. So again, I'm just going around smoothing it out and spreading it out to cover up all my mistake, and then wiping off the edges. If you see a little white film there because of the spackling is white, I rinse out my paintbrush and then rub it in a paper towel to take the excess water out, and just wipe away the white, because it will leave a film of white on your green air dry foam clay and you don't want that. So just go in with less wet and wipe that up until it's gone. And then after the spackling dries more, if you want it more smooth, you can sand it down a little bit to smooth it out a little bit more if you're not happy with what it looks like after you did the paintbrush. But make sure you at least wait 24 hours before doing that, and then test a little spot first before you just start doing big swipes on it. You want to make sure it's dry enough. And so now I'm going to show you the other way to do it. So I'm going to put down some wax paper, because if you remember, we smoothed out this yellow one, so it's going to be a little bit moist and really sticky. So I'm going to put down wax paper so when I lift it off the surface, it won't stick and ruin the design. So I'll set it on wax paper, and we will do a worm again for this one, and then pull it out with a toothpick, and then I will show you how to do the air dry foam clay in the center. Again, you don't have to do that step mixing it with white if you want it really bright yellow. Just depends on what shade of yellow you would like yours to be. And try to get the worm to be the same size going the whole way around. Then we are just going to stick it around the very bottom of the frisbee, and then just gently press so the clay adheres to each other. And just make sure I'm putting the extra clay back in the bag, because if it sits out too long, it'll start to dry out a little bit, so you want to make sure you don't let your clay sit open for long periods of time. So I'm just going around with a toothpick again, and then we are going to work on the center of this one. Again, we're going to use white air dry foam clay for the filling instead of spackling this time. I'm taking 2 pieces of styrofoam that I took out of saved from furniture, and I'm gluing it on top of each other. And then I'm going to take my air dry foam clay and we're going to roll out a really big, huge, thick worm. But first condition your clay, and again make sure your surface is nice and clean. And let me know in the comments, guys, are you going to try this, and which method will you use? Will you use all air dry foam clay, or will you give spackling a try? Let me know. I would love to know which way you're going to make it. So I need to roll out another worm because mine wasn't as long enough. And then I will show you how I connect them and smooth them out. So I'm kind of overlapping that one a little bit and cutting this one down to fit in. And kind of doing the whole pressing with the palm and the hand, and doing the same kind of method with water to try to get it wet. And then I put the lid on and then gently press. Don't press down a lot.